This is the UK Yamaha site, and this is a very handsome young man who's trying to prove that we've got iconic sound, which is great. So let's move on from there and see where we go. So all the different components, this is just so you can see where the actuality of it all is. This is literally the product of the company, obviously the high-end ones. Now we're going to look at this. This is the GT-5000. It's a turntable, and the thing is, it's a big, expensive turntable. I'll tell you how much later on, but I thought we'd do another walkthrough. So here we go, GT-5000, and as you can see, it's, well, some people say it's handsome. It's fairly, I mean, that's a 12-inch platter you've got on there, and you can see it's fairly large. The thing about aesthetics and beauty is they're all in the eye of the beholder. If you don't like the look of it, you don't like the look of it, and it's as simple as that. It seems fairly functional. So you've got a nice cartridge shell holder there, and you've got the motor, which looks very businesslike, and we'll get on to the specifications a little bit later on. And yeah, it's functional. So let's have a look. It says, referencing the esteemed turntables of golden age, hi-fi, the GT-5000 expands on this heritage in the pursuit of pure musicality, including pure straight and short arm for absolute transparency and openness in sound, balanced signal power, delivering absolute purity of signal transmission and design reflective of this GT heritage and the absolute quality in Referencing the golden age of hi-fi, the GT-5000 draws inspiration from Yamaha's original gigantic and tremendous series turntables, characterized by heavy wooden cabinets and platter which serve to dampen vibration and deliver improved performance. Now, obviously that's going to be true because only flimsy things flap around. Anything else has to be sort of pushed, so that makes some sort of sense. Let's see what the next bit says. Straight short arm for openness and transparency in sound. So they're going to say something flash about that next. And it's got a nice picture of a very straight tone arm. Very straight. And it says, accurately capturing the audio from the source is the imperative first step in delivering authentic, true hi-fi sound. A flagship GT-5000 adopts a short, straight arm designed to deliver superior rigidity as well as balance of weight and mechanics, which result in improved traceability. A rigid mechanism with simple construction means there is no need for an inside force canceller weight, so no need for a anti-skate, I guess is what it means. We'll see later on, I guess. Customized belt drive for stabilizing a platter. Now, this is one that it looks very nice, but what exactly do they mean? Let's see what happens next. Right, it says here, customized belt drive mechanism for the GT-5000 minimizes the influence of the motor cogging and excludes feedback control for an open and smooth sound. So what they're saying here is customized belt drive mechanism that minimize the influence of the motor cogging. I don't know exactly how they're making that out, but it excludes feedback control for an open and smooth sound. So they're not actually monitoring the speed of the turntable, they're just controlling the speed of the motor. Well, I know how they're going to do that. I'll tell you about that in a minute when we get to that bit. Heavy 5 kilogram, which you know is about 11 pounds, aluminium platter. Now that makes some sort of sense because people buy weights to put on their turntables. Well, this one's got one built in. And let's see where it goes from here. And it says, it's got a nice picture there. It says, further enhancing the stability and performance is the heavy aluminium platter of the GT-5000, which weighs in at a hefty 5 kilograms. Then it says, and this is where things start getting a bit more technically interesting, 24 pole, 2-phase AC synchronous motor. And it shows a motor. And let's see how much of the motor we see. Right, okay. We see it doesn't look particularly impressive there. I wouldn't give it 10 out of 10 for aesthetics, but we've got to, this is, it's a good piece of kit, so presumably it's going to be a good bit of motor. The GT-5000 is driven by a 24-pole, 2-phase AC synchronous motor that generates an accurate sine wave. Right, so what that means is it's very much like a mains-driven motor. It's not. It's being driven by a specific thing. But basically you've got 2 sets of motor windings in there. So that's where the 2-phase bit comes from. It's AC, so you haven't got brushes and things. And what you've got there is 2 phases, 24 poles. So you've actually got 48 poles, if you like, of push. So that's going to cog 48 times in the rotation rather than 24 times or less. So there, but it's not going to cog because it's AC anyway. It's one of these things. It's got 24 poles pushing it twice in the direction it's going around. Because it's a synchronous motor, which means that it is effectively synchronous motor. You've got the signals which are coming in, which is, I say signals, it's actually the drive voltage, and there is a magnet within the motor which gets caught into the wave, and it surfs along the wave. So then you've got two on this. You've got 2 phases. So there's another pole which is surfing on another wave. So you've always got one of them pushing hard, and that's the idea. So you don't get variations. It's if you want to know how accurate they are, synchronous motors are what they use in clocks. In the old days, they used to use them in all the electric clocks. Nowadays, of course, you use battery. But if you've got a mains clock that switches on and off with the mains, it's almost certainly got a synchronous motor in it. And they were accurate to within a few seconds a year. They were very good. So let's carry on anyway. It says custom heavy feed. Now I've got those. Mine aren't custom, mine are just heavy. But this, looking at this, so we've got nice bits of aluminium or steel or whatever been turned and with points on them. I think the points might be relevant. Let's have a look. It says the GT-5000 exhibits exceptional rigidity and stability in its design, extending to the specially designed feet which have been tailor-made for the flagship model. Heavy duty, yet exemplifying the luxurious look and feel of the GT-5000. The custom feet ensures high-fidelity audio performance. Now, if you look at these feet, you see they've got points and things and whatever. So, let's see where we go from here. Luxurious piano black finish. Yeah, it said that it was available in a range of colours. The only range of colours it had was black. Luxurious piano black. Worthy of the flagship hi-fi status, the GT-5000 boasts a luxurious black gloss finish reminiscent of a Yamaha grand piano, to match perfectly with the C5000 preamplifier, M5000 power amplifier, and the NS5000 flagship speakers. So, if you've ever seen a Yamaha musical instrument, you'd know that their finish is very good. So, I have no doubt that that is the case on here. They also normally sound nice, so that's probably also a good indicator of what we've got here. Let's see what it comes up with next. Yamaha music members, related products. Yeah, we know about those, etc. Picture of the motorbike at the bottom, which is my favourite, of course. I like motorbikes. I would still have one if it was a fact I haven't. Right, specs. Let's click on the specs. Specs, there we go. And it's changed, right, here we go. So, starting from the top. Right, it says drive method. Now it says GT-5000 turntable, drive method. Drive, belt drive, motor, AC synchronous motor, motor drive, crystal sine wave. Now that's where your stability comes in, you see. Rotational speed, 33 1/3 and 45. Rotational speed variation, plus or minus 0.1%. I don't believe it's got a pitch control. It might have. Hang on, let's have a look. Rotational speed adjustment. Forgive me, it does have a pitch. Built-in crystal oscillator, adjusted step 0.1% adjustment range, plus or minus 1.5%. So yes, it has got a pitch control and it moves it by that much, 1.5%, which is huge. Wow, flutter. 0.04%. Now that actually is a good figure. That's a very good figure. Platter, machined aluminium, 35 centimeters inner, brass diameter, 14.3 centimeters. That's where the actual belt goes around. So you've got the what some people call it subplatter. You've got a platter on top and a subplatter underneath. Turn arm, static balanced straight turn arm. And effective arm length is 223 millimeters. Whatever that is, don't know what that is in imperial. Let's have a look. Right, overhang is minus 17 millimeters. Acceptable cartridge weight is 13.5 to 36 grams, including head shell, or 25 to 36 grams need subweights. Head shell weight, 14 grams, including screws, nuts, and wires. There's two outputs. One is XLR balanced, and the other one is RCA unbalanced. And there is a strobe, which is a 3.5 millimeter mini jack. Power consumption 15 watts. Now that's, in today's terms, that's enough to light a room with an LED. But there we go. This is what it's doing. It's obviously doing some hard work there. Let's see, dimensions. It's 546 by 221 by 411 millimeters, or 21.5 inches by 8.75 inches by 16.25 inches. Yeah, it's the size of a record player, so that's okay. Alright, so let's see where we go from here and look at the downloads. This machine I'm using a little bit slow at picking these things up. It's a laptop. I normally use a high power. So let's go on to the owner's manual. I think, yeah, we'll go on to the owner's manual. So 1 megabyte download. I got the space. I've got cloud storage. Okay, here we go. YAMAHA GT-5000 owner's manual. Doodly-doo-doo-doo. So what we got now? Congratulations, features massive yet elegant heavy wooden chassis, effectively serves to dampen vibration. Let's have a look. Large, heavy, double-structured platter for enhanced stability and performance. Custom belt drive mechanism driven by 24-pole two-phase AC synchronous motor. Short, straight tone arm designed to deliver superior rigidity as well as a balanced weight. Specially designed custom feet. XLR balanced output jacks that enable end-to-end balanced signal transfer from cartridge to speaker. So it's got some form of amplifier in there to give you the balanced outputs. So there is electronics involved. Now, how many audiophiles think about that? They go for the XLR output, thinking, oh yes, it's going to be pure, and it will be. When it gets to the actual system, it will be less noisy. But what have they got? Anyway, check in the supplied accessories. You get a platter ×1, a sub platter. See, they do call it sub platter ×1, and table mats. You get 2 table mats. Wow, you could have a friend round. What else we got here? 1 belt, 2 counterweights because of this, depends on the cartridge and all the rest of it. A head shell and a 45 RPM adapter. Now, Recordology would be having a thing here about whether or not it's a cheap one. I can't tell from the line drawing. I'm assuming that if it's a hi-fi turntable, it's not going to be a cheap adapter, but you know, they are available. Recordology sells them for about $10. Dial cover, 2 what look like eye loops. I don't know why they call them handles, but you know, I don't know. The strobe disc, which is obviously very useful. Strobe light, so you can check with the strobe dish what's going on, so you can check the speed, and a power cord, which is always useful. Nice to be able to plug these things in. If you can't plug them in, they're not a lot of use, unless of course they're purely mechanical, like a wind-up gramophone. You don't plug them in. I'm sorry, it's the dementia kicking in. It's been a long day. Right, so what else have we got on here? Before we look at it now, we've got hexagonal wrench, cable clamps, and washers. That's for the head shell. All right. Owner's manual, safety procedure settlement. Let's have a look what we go from here. Cartridge axle balance, blah blah blah. And there is more to come. Part names. Okay, this was fairly obvious. Power button, platter, turntable mat, center spindle, dial cover, pitch adjuster. That's your speed control. Speed button, speed indicator, page 20. That's 9, and let's have a look at that. A start stop button is on feet. So 8 and 9. No, 9. Where's 9? Let's have a look at 9. Perfect. So then we got here. So here's your arm. So we got head shell, obviously. And let's see what the rest of it says. We're not going to get it all on the picture on the screen at the same time. Here we go. Counterweight, VTF dial, vertical tracking force, VTA, adjustment screw, vertical tracking angle. Ooh. Lift lever, armrest, head shell, lock nut, turn arm. There is no skate control. There is no skate control. 12 is VTA, vertical tracking angle. So that's the, yeah. That is not a skate control. It's interesting. Okay, right, carry on. What else we got? On the back panel, it says there is balanced output jacks, phono out, to power in, strobe out, and that's it. There's nothing else there. Assembling the unit. Put the platter on. Put the pulley on, which is probably a good idea. It's all fairly sort of normal. Install a cartridge. Now, this is the thing. It doesn't come with a cartridge. You've got to buy your own cartridge. And it says the overhang of the turn arm on this unit is minus 17 millimeters. Which is interesting. But it says, let's have a look properly. Yeah, it just says, a little one. That's it. Just a dial cover to the pitch adjustment. Boom, boom, boom. Just a dial cover to the pitch adjuster. Right, well, you probably didn't hear that, but it's £59, 1 ounce is what it weighs. £59 and 1 ounce. Oh, per small, yeah, okay. Allowable operating temperature 10 degrees to 35 degrees. Have a look on this side, the other side again. We've got well flutter, 0.4%. Yeah, that's exactly the same. That's all the same, so flutter. Type straight balance, straight turn arm, effective arm height, acceptable cartridge weight, including head shell, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And they're the same so far. But the 59, oh yeah, okay. It's a record player. You're going to get a hernia trying to carry it. Right. So, in conclusion, it's a very large black record player with a very straight arm, and it weighs 59 pounds, which is an awful lot of kilograms. And now this is the interesting bit. How much does it cost? It costs £8,900 on the listing I saw. The turntable, the preamp and the main amp together, you end up with 27,000. I've got it on my calculator here, look. 26,700 pounds. But then you've got to add on to that the cost of a cartridge. The cartridge how much do you spend on a cartridge? Do you spend 20, 36 quid on a AT3600, or do you spend 4,500 on a moving coil AT? They exist, or do you spend more? The Audio-Technica aren't the most expensive cartridges in the world. Anyway, that's the question you've got to have if you've spent that sort of money. Do you want to spend more? And anyway, I'll leave you to ponder that. I will be looking at the speakers next. I normally give you a conclusion, would I buy one of these? I wouldn't actually, because I don't think it's absolutely necessary. The thing about the electronics in the amplifiers and things is that they are what they are. Electronics is a fine art, it's a black art. But the turntable, I think they've just gone for big and bulky, and I don't think you're dragging a piece of rock through a groove that's been pressed in plastic. I don't think you need to spend that sort of money to do that. But that's just my opinion. If you've got one of these and you think that it's good, let me know. Put it in the comments. If you can see anything I've done wrong or anything like that, also put it in the comments. More than happy to have a dialogue and be put right. Give it a go. Anyway, thanks a lot. Catch you another time. Bye bye.